So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, as usual, we will be discussing news from Indian Express newspaper. So let's start with the discussion. We will be starting with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then we will move ahead with the fact of the day. Then we will move to the constitutional discussion, that is know our constitution, wherein we will be talking about the next part. Okay, so that will be part 16. Then we will be talking about these 4-5 important articles. So you know that day before yesterday we have announced the Nobel Prize for Physics, and now yesterday they have announced Nobel Prize for Chemistry. So we will be talking about both the developments. We will talk about the chemistry and physics over here, and we'll try to understand that what kind of you can say significant development has been rewarded by the Nobel Prizes, and we will be seeing that why these are important for us. Okay, then moving further, we'll be talking about the distribution of the fortified rice. So basically center has actually extended the distribution of fortified rice. Okay, so we will understand what is fortified rice. We will see that how and why this is important in the field of health and nutrition. Okay, and we'll try to understand the benefits, we'll try to understand what are the components etc which are there in these rice. Okay, then moving further, we'll be seeing key takeaways from the monetary policy committee meeting that was due on 7 to 9. So basically they have gone for the meeting, and now we will be understanding that what output was there. Okay, and what has been you can say discussed, and whether they have changed the monetary policy, or you can say repo rate or not, and if not, then what were the reasons. So we will try to understand all these things. Okay, in the end there will be a practice question for you. So let's start with the discussion. First we will be going to the practice question. So the question last time was why is understanding gene regulation important. Okay, gene regulation we have talked about in respect to the microRNA, okay, whose discovery has been rewarded with the Nobel Prize in the field of medicine. Okay, so that is why we will be discussing, we have discussed this gene regulation. So they are asking why is understanding gene regulation important. First is it explains how DNA is replicated. No, that is not about it. Okay, because this is talking about regulation and not replication. Okay, second thing is it helps in understanding the cell differentiations and the disease mechanism like cancer. So we will keep that as an option. It reveals how organism evolve. So it does not have to do with this as well. It provides insight into the protein folding. Yes, it is related to protein generation, okay, but it does not provide insights into it. So when we talk about the gene regulation, studying it is necessary so that we can see that what kind of difference, or you can say what kind of change has been there in the genes, so that you can say the protein generation or the protein synthesis has been, you can say, hindered. Okay, so it helps in understanding the cell differentiation and the disease mechanism. So if there is any kind of change in the gene regulation, okay, so it will impact the process of protein synthesis, and that is why it will impact your body functions, or there can be a disease. Okay, so option B would be a right answer. It helps in understanding the cell differentiation and disease mechanisms like cancers etc, so that you can understand the treatments as well. Okay, so that is about the question. Now moving further, we will be seeing that we have this GS Foundation course for IAS prelims and mains in offline mode at our centers Lucknow and Karol Bagh. The course will be commenced on 16th of October and 17th of October respectively. Details are given over here. You can directly visit the center and get enrolled, or you can call on this number, that is 8010440440. Again 8010440440. You can call on this number for any kind of inquiry, or you can directly visit the center to get enrolled. Okay, now anyways we will move further and start with the discussion. Facts of the day. Now we are talking about the Antarctic Peninsula. First I will show you where Antarctic Peninsula is. Okay, so when we talk about Antarctica, this is the, you can say, whole area, and this peninsula over here, which is as a projecting outside over here, that is basically your Antarctic Peninsula. Now what is the reason we are talking about this, we will see, but before that you have to see there are certain important you can say areas nearby are there, like Weddell Sea. Okay, other than that Ross Sea. These are the areas which has been in news again and again. Okay, if you look at this side, this is your Atlantic Ocean, here we have Indian Ocean, and this is Pacific Ocean. Now you can say that this is a kind of you can say bottom view. Okay, so that is there. Now moving further, here you can see Antarctic Peninsula has experienced 10-fold increase in the vegetation from less than 1 square kilometer in 1986 to almost 12 square kilometer by 2021. Now, is this a good thing or bad? Increasing the vegetation cover over here that has increased it is a good thing or bad? Generally, if we see that in the, you can say, plain areas etc., and we say that the vegetation cover has increased, that is considered a good thing, but over here it is not, because vegetation cover increased means there was this place where vegetation can go for, you can say, new plants can arrive over there. Okay, so that means that the area which was supposed to be there, or you can say ice was supposed to be there, and that has been claimed by the vegetation, that means ice has been gone from that, or you can say ice melting has happened. Now in the areas of Atlantic, if there is ice melting, that means that there is this global warming, because of which ice is melting and ocean sea level is rising. Okay, so that is a cause of concern over here. So let's see over here, development of the moss ecosystem. Moss is the, you can say, primary succession kind of thing which is there, and when we talk about moss, it is basically generated on the plain wherein no initial vegetation is there. Okay, so moss ecosystem can lead to organic soil formation and plant colonization. So first mosses will come, mosses, lichens etc., these are the, you can say, primary succession agents, and once they are there, they will try to go for the rock disintegration etc., and then ultimately soil will form. Once soil will form, there will be organic matter, and ultimately plant colonization will happen. Okay, so that is the concept of succession which you must have you can say read in the environment. Okay, it also raises concern about the potential introduction of the non-native and the invasive species. Now till now there is no vegetation which was there because there was ice caps. Now there are chances that because of various things, or you can say the travels to Antarctica etc., there are chances that there can be invasive species which can colonize the area. Moving further, this greening is likely to accelerate the warming in the region, which has been heating up 5 times faster than the global average. Now this area is heating up 5 times faster than the global average. Again, Antarctic Peninsula ice sheet is sensitive to the climate change due to the small size and the near northerly locations. Since 1950, it has been warmed by nearly 3 degrees Celsius. So temperature over here has increased nearly 3 degrees Celsius. So obviously that is a cause of concern for us. As the glaciers recedes, more land become available for the colonization by plant, further accelerating the greening process. Okay, so basically this area is getting green, and you can say that the ice sheet is residing, or the glaciers are basically residing, that is leading to the increase in the ocean surface level. Okay, so that is there. We have discussed about the area, we have discussed that this is the Antarctic Peninsula, we are talking about this, and we are not talking about the whole region, but right now we are talking about this particular place over here. Okay, so that is there. Now we can move further to the next part, that is constitution discussion. Over here we will be discussing the part 16 today, that is you can see over here part 16, that is special provision reservation of SC, ST and Anglo Indians etc. Okay, so you know that Anglo Indians reservation in the Lok Sabha has gone. Okay, when we talk about, there were 2 seats which was reserved for that, so that has gone now. Here you can see there are certain articles which are important for you, which I have wrote it down. Now when we are talking about the article 338, that is talking about the National Commission for Scheduled Caste. Okay, now we will not go into details of these commissions because obviously it will take time, and the almost all the commissions have kind of similar procedures and the similar, you can say, appointment process etc. So we will do one thing, that we will either make a video on that, or otherwise we will be talking about that in the, you can say, constitution discussion as well, but we will be taking it in as a separate topic. Okay, so here 338 is 38 is talking about the National Commission for Scheduled Caste. Then we have 338A, that is talking about the National Commission for Scheduled Tribe. 338A, that is talking about again backward classes as well. Okay, I guess 338A is there. Anyways, you can cross check that. And moving further, 339, control of the union over administration of the scheduled area and the welfare of the scheduled tribes. Okay, you know that scheduled areas are given in the schedule 5. Okay, so you can remember that. Then moving further, 340 is talking about the appointment of the commission to investigate into the condition of backward classes. Okay, now when we talk about the article 340, that is basically if you are going for any kind of reservation etc. So for that you need a quantifiable data, you need a recommendation from the, you can say, a particular body. So here they are saying that there is a power wherein you can go for the appointment of a commission to, you can say, monitor or to, you can say, investigate the condition of the backward classes. Okay, moving further, Article 341 is talking about the scheduled caste. Article 342 is talking about the scheduled tribes. There is a list, okay, or the, when we are talking about this particular list of scheduled tribes and scheduled caste. So these articles are telling you that the list will be, first list will be made by the president, and then parliament can make changes in that. Okay. Then article 342A, that is talking about the socially and the educationally backward classes. Okay, when we talk about reservation in the backward classes, these are the criteria: socially and educationally backward classes. So anyways, when we are talking about the new reservation, introducing a new reservation, you have to make sure that there is a quantifiable data which is suggesting that that caste is belonging to socially and educationally backward class. Okay, so these are the, you can say, things which are there in the part 16. So when you go through the revision for the article, etc., so you have to remember it by part wise, and you know that part 16 is related to your special provision relating to the certain classes wherein SC, ST, OBC, Anglo Indians were added over here. Okay, so that is about the part 16. Now we can move further and start with the today's discussion. Okay, so Nobel Prize in Chemistry. So there was these three people who has gathered this Nobel Prize, that is David Becker, John Jumper and Demis Hassabis. Okay, so these are the three people who has got the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2024. Why they have gotten it? So we will be talking about that here. The 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to David Becker, Demis Hassabis and John M. Jumper for their groundbreaking work on proteins, which are essential to nearly all biological processes. Their achievement combined with biology and the artificial intelligence. So they have gone for a, you can say, work wherein they have combined biology, because they are talking about the proteins, etc., plus AI. How AI can be useful in, you can say, classifying or you can say differentiating these proteins and their generations. Okay, so that is there helping us understand and design the proteins with unprecedented precision. Now they are talking about, with the help of AI and biology, they can go for the designing the proteins. Desired characteristics can be, you can say, seen over there. So let's see how they have done it. So first we will be talking about the importance of the proteins. All the bodily functions are dependent on the different kind of proteins. Every in our body there are functions which are happening. Behind that there is a specific protein which is responsible. Proteins are basically, you can say, biological molecules, biomolecules which are there in your body. So here you can say proteins are essential to nearly all biological functions. Example is hemoglobin transports oxygen. We have discussed that in the, you can say, Nobel Prize for Medicine as well, wherein I have told you that hemoglobin is responsible for carrying the oxygen. Okay, and then insulin is responsible for absorbing the glucose in the blood. Now these proteins like hemoglobin and the insulin, these are, important for these functions which are being performed over here. Okay, so it is important for us to understand that how the generation and how the, you can say, building units are there in the protein. So okay, understanding protein is the key to address the health issues and the developing new treatments. Now if there is a, issue in the protein synthesis, if there is a issue in the protein generation, and that point we can see that that is the problem, and because of which this disease is happening, and ultimately you can find a solution to that. Now contribution of David Becker. Now he has developed a tool, that is Rosetta. Okay, Rosetta software which is there, which is built by David Becker. Now for the computation of protein design. Okay, so this is related to the design of protein. Now you don't have to go into details how it is designing, etc. Just know that there is this software which has been made by David Becker, that is Rosetta, and that is actually helping you in the design of the proteins. Okay, Rosetta predicts the protein structure and design new proteins by the reverse engineering and amino acid sequencing. Now when protein is being generated, when we are talking about the proteins building units are amino acids. Okay, so when different amino acids and their sequences are there, okay, accordingly a protein is generated. Now you know that this is the sequence through which this particular kind of protein is being generated. So you can go for the reverse engineering, you can start backward and come to a generation of a new protein. Okay, so for generation of new protein, they can tweak the amino acids or the combinations of the amino acids, and you can come up with the you can say they can come up with the new proteins over here. Okay, this allows the creation of new proteins with desired function for or applications like pharmaceuticals and nanotechnology. Now you want some kind of, just let's say hemoglobin is transporting the oxygen. Now you want something else which is there, because of which, let's say some kind of disease is there, because of which there is this problem in the transportation of the oxygen. Now you know that hemoglobin is responsible, and now you have to create more hemoglobin inside the body so that oxygen can be transported. Okay, so using this reverse engineering method, you go for the creation of hemoglobin inside the body. So we are saying that in the pharmaceuticals or the nanotechnology etc., we can go for the generation of the protein as per our desired characteristics. Okay, so that is there, that is the contribution of David Baker. When we talk about the other two, that is Demis Hassabis and John M. Jumper, so you will be seeing there was this another tool, that is AlphaFold. Okay, AlphaFold is an AI model that predicts the protein structure. Okay, now when we talk about AI, artificial intelligence etc., that is a tool which is generally used for various kind of things. Earlier computers has the limited capacity, they could not perform a creative or generative task, but now with the help of AI is also performing the generative task etc. That is why we are calling them as Gen AI or generative AI. Okay, with the help of generative AI, they have gone for making this particular tool, that is AlphaFold. Using AlphaFold, what they are doing is, this AI model is actually predicting or making some kind of calculations, and they are predicting the protein structure based on the amino acid sequence. Let's say A, T, C, G, these are the amino acids, or the you can say bases which are there. So with the combination of A, T and C, G, there was this specific function which is being performed. Okay, now if you tweak this, let's say you are going for the A, G and C, T, in that case the function will change. So accordingly they are predicting the sequences, and they are deciding that what is happening inside the, you can say, protein. So with this particular, you can say, tweaking in the sequence etc., they can predict the functions of different proteins. Okay, so based on that they are changing the amino acid sequences, and they are actually predicting the protein structures. Now AlphaFold revolutionized the protein prediction with around 60% accuracy initially, later improved significantly with the Jumper's contribution. This breakthrough enables scientists to understand diseases, antibiotic resistance and drug mechanism more effectively. Okay, how they are helping them understand the diseases? So I have told you that this is the, let's say, healthy pair of amino acids which is there in a protein. Now if there is some kind of change, like G and T got switched, and because of which there is some kind of you can say abstraction in the you can say obstacle is there, or you can say some kind of hindrance is there in the functioning of that particular protein. So you realize that there is some kind of disease is happening. Okay, so similarly they are predicting it, and then they are going for solving this particular issue. Okay, so that is the, you can say, Nobel Prize for that is the development for which the Nobel Prize has been given. What is the importance, which we have already seen here? You can say allows better understanding of the life processes, disease development and protein functionings, provide tools to create a new protein for targeted treatments, materials and the environmental solutions. Application includes vaccine development, greener chemical processes and the nanotechnology advancements etc. Okay, so which we have already seen. Now we can move further to the next one. Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay, so Nobel Prize in Physics 2024 was awarded to two researchers, that is John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton. Okay, so basically these two people has been awarded with the Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay, so let's see. This award recognized their fundamental contribution to the machine learning and artificial neural networks. Again they are using machine learning over here. Machine learning is also a form of recent development which is there with respect to giving commands to the computers and AI etc. Okay, now they are going for the artificial neural networks. With the name neural network, it is clear that this is something to do with the functioning of the brains. Okay, and artificial neural networks means that they have created a network which is functioning like a brain. Okay, so let's see. So they recognizes their fundamental contribution to the machine learning and the artificial neural networks. John Hopfield, American scientist, and the Geoffrey Hinton, British Canadian scientist, are credited with the developing algorithm that mimics the functioning of a human brain. Okay, so as I told you that artificial neural network, that means that artificial network which is functioning as a brain. So here you can say artificial functioning or the mimicking the function of the human brain. Okay. Now earlier, as I told you, the role of computers were limited to, let's say, calculations etc. After these particular you can say developments, you can say that they will have more capacity like a human. Now if we talk about the invention of the computer, so initially they have been designed to perform repetitive tasks. Okay, repetitive tasks means, you know, formation of loops, etc. Like if you have to you can say enter the data, so that can be a repetitive task, or you can say if you have to make any kind of calculations, or you can say, let's say there is this iteration which is there, you have to add 2 to 2 and you are getting 4, plus 2 you are getting 6, and then plus 2. So if this is kind of a repetitive task and you have to add the 2's for like 10,000 times, so you know, if we start doing it, there are high chances that human might go for any kind of error. So for such repetitive tasks, etc., computer was, you know, taken into picture. Then new concept, if we talk about, then effort began to enhance the computers by allowing them to perform better suited tasks for humans. So they have been you can say developed to do the tasks which are done by humans, okay, such as remembering, recognizing, perceiving, learning, making decision based on the intelligence. Now this here, when we are talking about, that is basically our artificial intelligence, okay. Now advancement by the 1980s. Despite no major breakthrough in the AI or machine learning, artificial intelligence or machine learning, John Hoffield's development of ANN, that is your artificial neural networks, marked by the beginning of a new era, because they are creating brain-like structures, or you can say connection or the network of the neurons, okay, artificial neurons you can say. So that is trying to mimic the brain. So that was significant development when we are talking about the time, that is nearly 1980s, wherein no artificial intelligence was there at that point of time. If we talk about 1980s, in India we did not even have computers, okay. Then moving further, psychological connection, if we talk about, in human brains, neurons, that is digital signals, help in processing and decision making, which is inspired these algorithms. So how this algorithm is coming, because they are trying to mimic the brain, so obviously they will take, or they will try to understand what is the functioning of brain, and accordingly they will design a, you can say this network over here. So Hopfield has created an artificial neural network capable of functioning like a brain, okay. So here you can see, if you can see the picture, this is how a typical neuron look like, okay. So here there are these dendrites which are attached with the another neuron. So when we are talking about these dendrites, they are having this signal, okay, electric signals are there which are received by them, and then ultimately there is this network of neuron which is there, okay. And when we are talking about any kind of command which has been given, let's say I have seen something, there is a threat, a dog is running at me, so this threat has been perceived by me, by my eyes, and then this neural network acts over here, and then signal is being sent to the brain, and then brain processes and make a decision that I have to run. Then these dendrites and the neurons are basically sending the signals to my legs that you have to run now. So that is the process which is happening inside the brain. Similarly, they have created this artificial neuron network using the algorithms, computer algorithms, etc., wherein there will be an input command which will be given to them, and then there will be a functioning over here, and then output will be given, okay. So that is how they will try to, you can say, mimic the brain. Coming to the next, Hopfield's network. This network allow computer to remember, learn patterns by using entire network structure instead of the individual units. When we talk about the computer, there are various units which are there, they have to work like that. But once this artificial neural network was there, so they have started to give inputs, and then these inputs are basically processed in the whole network and not in a particular unit, okay. So considering that, you can say that the brain like processes are happening inside the computer. When Hopfield network views the incomplete image, it can restructure or reconstruct the missing parts by using the stored patterns. Now what is happening is that, let's say you have seen a particular kind of you can say some let's say you are in a room and you have noticed nearly 10 objects over there, okay, and then now you have gone outside, and in another room there were 5 of them which were there. Now you can reconstruct that last time I have been in the room, there were 10 objects, so 5 are there, so 5 other are inside your brain. So you can imagine that there are 5 other you can say objects which were there in the room last time, okay. So similarly, if there is a incomplete picture which has been painted in front of the computer, then computer will realize on the basis of the data which was fed it to them, So they will realize that there is something missing and they will try to complete them. Okay, so with you can say face recognitions or with the you can say surveillance camera etc., that is what which is working behind it. Let's say if there is a some features of a person has been stored in the computer, and after that they are trying to locate that particular person in a crowd. Okay, so obviously they are not getting the direct visuals of that particular person, but they are getting it through the different angles, so that missing information will be processed by the computer and then they will identify, yes, this is the person. Okay, so here what is happening is that if there is an incomplete image inside the you can say network, then it can reconstruct the missing parts by using the stored patterns to create a complete image. Hilton's contribution, if we talk about, he expanded the idea by creating deep neural networks capable of learning and recognizing more complex data patterns. For example, recognizing a new faces that are similar to the familiar ones. Okay, so this is what they have actually worked in this particular field. So here specifically you can say that this discovery is related to machine learning and the artificial neural networks. Okay, so development in the machine learnings and the artificial neural networks to mimic the working of the brains. Okay, application can be in the facial recognition, which we have already seen. Voice assistance devices like Siri and Alexa are equipped with the ability to understand the commands and respond accordingly. Okay, so that is something which you must have tried at your home, so I don't have to tell you. Okay, and then healthcare, AI is now being used in the medical images, or you can say predicting the health conditions etc. Okay, so that is the uses which can be you can say taken out of these particular things. Now moving further, we will be talking about the fortified rice in the government schemes. The Union Cabinet extended the distribution of the fortified rice in the government schemes like National Food Security Act until December 2028 to combat anemia and the micronutrient deficiency. When we talk about India, there is this artificial hunger which is also a problem. Artificial hunger means that people are eating but they are not eating the right food. Okay, people are eating but their nutrition you can say demands are not being fulfilled. Okay, so because of which there is this artificial hunger which has generated. Now right now here Union Cabinet has taken a decision that they will go for extending the you can say distribution of fortified rice. Okay, till December 2028. When we talk about the fortified rice, what is that? So when we take the normal rice, they you can say out from outside they will enter, or you can say they will add the nutrients into the rice over there. Okay, so here you can say fortification involves deliberately increasing the content of essential micronutrients in the food to enhance the nutritional value, such as defined by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, so that is FSSAI. So basically what they are doing is, let's say this is the you can say container where rice are there. Now what this is the normal rice, and because of which we are facing these problems like you can say deficiency of micronutrients etc. To you can say avoid that, or to actually address that, what they are doing is they are adding the artificial nutrients, or you can say artificially they are adding the nutrients into it, and they are making it in a such a way that you won't be realizing that that is different from your rice etc. Okay, so that is fortification of the food. Okay, so if that is done in the rice, then it is fortified rice. Okay, fortified rice contains iron, folic acid, vitamin B, and other optional nutrients can also be added over here, that is zinc, vitamin A and vitamin B etc. Okay, so B vitamins are there, B12 etc. So which can be added in this. Okay, so these are the contents of you can say your fortified rice, that is iron, folic acid, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin B12. Okay, and other vitamins can also be added. Why fortified rice is needed? So as I told you, there is this artificial hunger, or you can say there is this deficiency of nutrients which is there. Here you can say India has a high malnutrition rate with widespread anemia and nutrient deficiency, especially in the women and children. Fortified rice help address this issue, such as rice is a staple for 2/3 of the population. Since 2015, the government in phased manner has you can say gone for the distribution of fortified rice under the schemes like that is your public distribution system, and then we have the midday meal scheme etc. By 2024, they have gone for the full implementation nationwide, and now we are saying that till 2028 this will be done. Okay. So ultimately why we need it, because there is this artificial, you can say, hunger which is there, there is malnutrition, and then you can say deficiency of nutrition which is there, anemia is there. So because of which we are trying to address this issue by using this fortified rice. And why rice has been chosen? Because rice is a staple crop of nearly 2/3 of the population in our country, and that is why it has been chosen. Okay. Now moving further, here you can see how you go for the fortification. Okay, so fortified kernels blended at the ratio of 1:100. So if you are taking 100 grams of rice, so there will be 10 mg of iron which will be added into it. Okay, so that is 1:100, you can say, ratio which is there. Okay, 10 milligram or 1 gram. Okay, so now here you can say manufactured by the combining rice powders with iron. Okay, so again 1:100 means that in 100 grams of fortified rice you will have 10 milligrams of iron. Okay, so that is 1:100 ratio. Now here you can see manufactured by the combining rice powder with the iron. Now you cannot directly go for eating the iron. Okay, so that is why what they are using is, they are using this ferrum or the iron powders, and they are forming it in the forms of kernels only. Okay, so fortified kernels form, they look like rice only. Okay, powdered converted into the rice like kernels, and micronutrient fortified kernels resemble like regular rice, and they are mixed with the rice. Okay, these are the components which we have already seen. That is your iron, vitamin A, thiamine, that is your vitamin B1, folic acid, zinc, then pyridoxine, niacin, and vitamin B12. Okay, so these are the things which are the nutrients which are there in the fortified rice, or they can be added in the fortified rice. Okay, I hope that is clear. Moving further, importance from the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. So they have not gone for changing any kind of repo rate, etc. They have kept it similar to the last time. Okay, Monetary Policy Committee of the Reserve Bank of India concluded its meeting. Retail inflation and the GDP growth forecast for year 2025 remained unchanged at 4.5% and 7.2%. So retail inflation, they have said that it will be somewhere around 4.5%, and the GDP growth projection will be 7.2%. Key policy rate or the repo rate, that has remained unchanged, okay, at 6.5%. So right now it is 6.5%, please note that. Then moving further, what are the reasons? So they are speculating that there might be chances that in future there will be increase in the inflation because of the various things, like when we talk about the mostly it will be because of the food and fuel inflation, because geopolitical conditions, etc., are not favorable. Okay, so inflation is likely to increase significantly in the September due to the strong base effect. Strong base effect means that if there is, you can say, decrease in the inflation, and the next time there is this increase, so obviously the gap is high, and because of which you will feel that inflation has suddenly increased more. Okay, so that is, there will be a base effect. Second thing is rising prices of the food items such as onion, potatoes, and chickpeas, that is there. Seasonal fluctuations can be there because obviously all these are seasonal crops, so that is there also. And again, when we are talking about the food, you know that in India agriculture is mostly monsoon fed, so when we talk about any kind of rains or any kind of disruption in the rains, okay, so that will be reflecting in the inflation prices. Okay, moving further, geopolitical tensions, which we have already discussed, that because of the war in Russia Ukraine, because of the war in the Middle East, etc., so there are high chances that there can be supply side constraints, and because of which also there can be increase in the inflation, and that is why they have kept the monetary policy as same, or you can say the repo rate as same. Okay, now coming to the Monetary Policy Committee, you know that we have discussed this Monetary Policy Committee and its composition, etc., because there was this 3 member which are basically government appointed. They have been changed recently. Okay, so this constitution of monetary policy has changed. So it was formed under the section 45 ZB of the RBI Act 1934. 1934 Act is still in you can say place, but that was amended various times as per the requirement. So in 2016 this particular act was amended to introduce the element of the Monetary Policy Committee. 6-member committee is there. It will be, you can say, appointed by the central government. In this particular committee there will be 6 members, okay, and is appointed by central government as per the you can say RBI Act. There will be 2 kind of member. One will be from RBI, 3 members will be from RBI, 3 members will be from government side. These members will be appointed by government, you can say government only. When we talk about RBI's 3 members, there will be 1 member that will be your governor of RBI. Okay. Second thing, deputy governor, that will be in charge of monetary policy, and then 1 nominated member will be there from the you can say bank, and central board will be the person, central board will be the authority to nominate this particular person. Okay. Now decision of the committee is binding on all the banks. Okay. What is the objective? To lay down the policy necessary for the achieving the inflation targets. Then composition, which we have already seen, 6 members will be there, governor will be chairman, deputy governor will be the in charge of the, not the labor policy, monetary policy, sorry, okay, monetary policy. He will be the in charge of monetary policy. One officer from the bank will be there, that will be nominated by the central board, and then 3 persons will be appointed by the central government. Okay. So that is about the monetary policy committee. Now moving further, there is this passing reference to this thing that Ratan Naval Tata has passed away. So you know that he was the, you can say, prominent personality in India. Okay. He was very famous with respect to the Tata group, etc. Okay. Ratan Tata passed away at the age of 86, October 9th, 2024, due to the age related and health issues. Okay. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi called him a visionary leader and an extraordinary human being. You can quote his examples in your essays, in your ethics paper, etc. Okay. Now moving further, here I will be taking few developments, or you can say few achievements of his time. Okay. He has been awarded with the Padma Vibhushan, globally recognized with the honors like Knight Grand Cross, known for his philanthropy in healthcare, education and the clean water initiatives. Took over as the chairman of the Tata Sons in 1991, succeeding J.R.D. Tata, led the Tata Group through the India's economic liberalization, emphasizing cohesion and the cooperative governance. Okay. So these are certain you can say achievement. Other than that, there are certain group related achievements are there with respect to the company. You can go through this. You don't have to remember all these things. Okay. Anyways, in the end, we have this question for your practice, that is, which of the following micronutrient is not commonly added in the fortified rice? Okay. So they are saying that not commonly added in the fortified rice. Okay. If you want to add, you can add anything, but commonly it is not added. Okay. So options are iron, vitamin C, folic acid and vitamin B12. So we have discussed the components of the fortified rice, out of which you can see which is not present over there. So you can answer this questions. So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.